I have a short poem by Christina Rossetti. What is pink? A rose is pink by the fountain's brink. What is red? A poppy's red in its barley bed. What is blue? The sky is blue where the clouds float through. What is white? A swan is white, sailing in the light. What is yellow? Pears are yellow, rich and ripe and mellow. What is green? The grass is green, with small flowers between. What is violet? Clouds are violet in the summer twilight. What is orange? Why, an orange is just an orange. It is my pleasure to be sharing the pulpit with Vinny Lalka today. Vinny is here to share his insight into the Festival of Holi, celebrated in India and in Indian communities around the world at this time of year, coming at just the right time in our lives when things seem bleak and dark. Holi arrives to celebrate the triumph of good over evil, the coming of spring, and the gift of color. Welcome, Vinny.
To the kids present today and out there who enjoy drawing, sketching, painting with various colors, be it with crayons, charcoal, pencils, to the hikers and walkers among you who are looking forward to do the wildflower trails, to see the sunflowers, daffodils, daisies, that splash of color that comes with spring. To those who sit in silence in the porches, knitting or playing with children or pets on their rocking chairs, as they look forward to the red buds and the dogwoods that will dot our neighborhoods and the streets soon. To those who listen to the colors and the whispers of the wind, who seek the warmth of the distant sun that gladdens our hearts, who peer into the night sky and gaze over the various shades of the moon in all the phases, who see the sparkle and the twinkle of the stars that are itching to tell us something, and to the many kind souls that have gathered here today, who just enjoy the sounds and the smells of the earth we live in, the rain, the rainbow, the thunder, the snow, and who partake of sharing a meal together. You already have the spirit of Holi inside you. Rang Barse. Rang Barse is a very beautiful word. There is no English equivalent, but what it means is shower your life with colors. So happy Holi to you all. The entire Indian subcontinent celebrates with you. The official Holi celebration is a 2-day festival this Thursday and Friday. I'm Vinny, like my cousin Vinny, and not like Winnie the Pooh. I like Winnie the Pooh. He has been my friend, philosopher, and guide for quite some time. My pronouns are he, him. However, my forever favorite pronoun is we the people. They say you can take a man out of India, but you cannot take India out of the man. Here I am today in your midst, fully immersed in the colors of Holi, and all the myriad festivals of India that make up my cultural heritage, my DNA. Holi Rang Barse. So let's start at the very beginning, as it was in the Sound of Music. Let's start at the very beginning, and it's a good place to start. So as the story goes, Hiranyakashipu was a king who continuously thirsted for power. And he was filled with such arrogance that he ordered all in his kingdom to worship him. However, when he finds that his own son, Prahlad, is a devoted worshiper to Lord Narayana, he is livid. How could my own son worship another lord? So the king's sister, Holika, has a special power that allows her to survive fires without getting hurt. Knowing this, Hiranyakashipu commands his sister Holika to take Prahlad, his own son, into the fire, where he would perish and she would survive. As it turns out, Holika's power only works if she is in the fire alone. Holika dies for her evil deed, but Prahlad, the son, is saved by God for his devotion. So to this day, many people burn a Holika, a bonfire, the evening of the first day of Holi, where they gather around the bonfire and they pray for their inner evils to be burned in the fire. So that is known as Holika Dahan, the first night. And then the second day is Duleti, which is where color erupts everywhere. So that is a kind of a tradition of Holi. But Holi also is also filled with the immortal love of Krishna and Radha. Krishna, the cowherd, the prankster, who played in the ancient city of Vrindavan and Mathura in northern India, where Krishna spent his childhood. So basically, this is how the story goes. Lord Krishna, he was of dark and blue complexion, and he loved this milkmaid Radha, who was very fair-skinned and beautiful. So during a game, he covered her face with colored powders in a playful attempt to make the two of them more look alike. That is the story that has gone from tradition onwards. But what I want to point out, especially in the Eastern culture, is what is called Ras Leela, the divine playfulness. That is at the core of Eastern cultures. The song and dance, the music, the streak of mischievousness, the eternal lightheartedness. You have the serene and contemplative Buddha, but you also have the laughing Buddha. You have Shiva, whose wrath is much feared, but he's also the dancing Nataraja, the cosmic dancer. So the same Krishna, the prankster, the cowherd in his youth, he becomes Krishna, the charioteer, who guides Arjuna, the warrior prince, in the battle of Mahabharata. So this is, the battle lines are drawn, and the prince Arjuna asks Krishna that I see in front of me brothers and cousins in a fight for life and death. What is the right thing to do? And that becomes the starting point of Bhagavad Gita. when Krishna narrates to the Prince Arjuna what needs to be done. So anyway, growing up in a mega city like Mumbai, my perception and views of the Western culture was always through the lens of art, movies, TV, and they all brought a lot of color, a lot of vibrancy. And this is sprinkled across food, music, art, friendships. Color is life. I mean, you take a simple example, the rose in your garden. When it blooms, it is beautiful. The butterflies come, all the pollinators come, it's so beautiful. But the decay and the decomposition happens when the color is gone, when it's withered. So color is life. I'll give you a few examples, even in the world of music, where color has impacted many of our famous musicians and songwriters and bands. You have Yellow Submarine from the Beatles. You have Black Magic Women from Santana. You have Red, Red Wine from UB40. Blue Suede Shoes from my favorite, Elvis Presley. Purple Rain from Prince. Purple Haze from Jimi Hendrix. And one of my other favorite, You're My Brown-Eyed Girl, Van Morrison. So colors have been all around. And even in the world of television, there have been quite a few colorful characters. You have Kermit the Frog. You have Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Gonzo the Great, Cookie Monster, Bert and Ernie. One of my favorite, Willie E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. All very colorful characters. As far as coming to the food, scientific studies have shown that a food plate that is full of colors is a very healthy food plate. And whether you can throw in, greens, red, whatever. But we live in very cartoonish times right now, in a very topsy-turvy world, where the alternate reality is presented as a new reality. So I'm going to take tips from two of my favorite cartoon characters. And this guy is a sailor. He's a tough guy. He's a hero, a legend, an underdog with bulging forearms, a mean uppercut, and a love of canned spinach. That's Popeye. He loves his greens. And then, of course, we have Bugs Bunny. Oh, carrots are divine. You get a dozen for a dime. It's magic. They fry, a song begins. They roast, and I hear violins. It's magic. But anyway, so bring a lot of color to your plate. It'll make you healthy. And now about a few examples in colorful connections. Right here, I personally enjoy the Wednesday night potluck. We have a very beautiful, colorful connection. Bill, Rob, Louis, quite a few others. I really enjoy it. We are all from different walks of life, different backgrounds, but it's an excellent way. We share a simple meal together. It's a colorful connection. Historically, I'm going to point out two connections that have left an imprint with me. So the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1965. Though segregation was no longer the law of the land in America by the end of the 60s, black citizens were still not embraced as equal participants in public life. And this status was reflected at many of the community pools across the country, with white people, preventing black people from sharing the water. So it was in this context that Mr. Rogers, in his episode in Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, in May 9th, 1969, Mr. Rogers invited Officer Clemens, a black police officer, on the show, to join him and cool his feet in a small plastic wading pool. When Clemens sat down and placed his feet in the water right next to Mr. Rogers, the two men broke a well-known color barrier. The next example I would give you is here in the farm in the bucolic small town of Shelbyville, Tennessee. The remarkable story of Nearest Green begins where he meets Jack Daniel, an orphan who was raised. The farm was owned by the preacher Dan Call, where Nathan Nearest Green, an enslaved black man, worked, where Green perfected his whiskey-making craft. It's said that Nathan specialized in Sugar Map's charcoal filtering. Jack arrived on the farm, and he was transfixed by this process. And Jack, of course, had a natural knack for sales. Nearest became a free man after the Civil War, and he struck up a business with Jack Daniel. And Nearest, a black, formerly slaved man, was Jack Daniel's first master distiller, a coveted title given to the person in charge of the entire production process and quality control. And he was the face of the brand for quite some time. A friendship turned partnership sowed the seeds of a business empire. In conclusion, I'm fascinated. Excuse me, I need to take some water. So, in conclusion, I'm fascinated by this remarkable song by Dolly Parton. She had written this song in September 1971, The Coat of Many Colors. And this is a song that referenced the rural upbringing in a tight-knit Parton family who were struggling to overcome a devastating tragedy and who discover the healing power of love, faith, and a raggedy patchwork of coat. And here are the lyrics. I'm only going to pick the last two paragraphs of the song. Because when she wore that coat in the school, she was laughed at, she was bullied, etc. But here are the lyrics. And I couldn't understand it, for I felt I was rich, and I told him of the love. My mama sewed in every stitch, and I told them all the story. Mama told me while she sewed, and how the coat of many colors was worth more than all of their clothes. But they didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they choose to be. Now I know we had no money, but I was rich as I could be in the coat of many colors. My mama made for me, made just for me. So go ahead, find the colors in every stitch and corner in the fabric of your life. And your life will open up with abundance and joy. To quote Maya Angelou, one of my favorite poets, try to be a rainbow in someone's cloud. Rang Barse, celebrate the colors every day. Rang Leela, have that divine playfulness. Keep the flame of the song and dance alive every day. Happy Holi, Namaste.